until this final stride crosses over the X step, then that's when we get the coil.
Okay.
And so those are the things that we're gonna practice. So first we're gonna start with the coiling. So if I put this stick here, so I get into like a relatively normal, like standstill throwing stance.
Okay.
So I'll get a little bit wider, just a little bit, okay. So if we were here and you were to rotate around this middle section, yeah, you see how now this one goes back and then this one comes forward. Instead, if we were rotating here, and I want you to keep this locked.
Okay.
So like activate glute, activate your hamstring, your adductors, and keep it in place. And I want you to turn this hip around the other one.
Okay, so
You start to feel how there's some tension over here to be able to maintain that.
Yeah.
So that's the hip coil. That's getting us to like 135 degrees, you could say. And then the rest is up here. So get to the hip coil. And now the shoulder coil is here.
Oh yeah.
And you can feel a very different level of tension in here and in the glute. And so like that's the feeling that we want to get. We want to feel like we're getting wrung out.
Okay.
That's the feeling of coil. And now take your foot, now point your toes, like get in the whole coiled position that you can feel all that tension.
Yeah.
Turn your toes out.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
It's just gone.
Yeah. And so that's what, so like, it'll depend on the level based on your anatomy, but you tend to walk much like me. Maybe it's because we also both wear barefoot shoes, is that you're, like if I'm walking towards camera, my toes are much more in line. And so if you're someone that's like maybe a little bit duck-footed and you walk like this, you can get away with a little bit more because your hip anatomy, if you're more internally rotated, same thing. And so if you're someone that's feet are really straight, if you're looking at your throw and you're hearing this like horse stance, this is terrible for you. And so we want to be at the position where when from here, we're gonna coil in against this hip, and like you can hear how my voice changes.
Yeah.
And then stride out from there. And so if I'm doing all the coiling beforehand and I'm getting myself to here, if my target line's this way, proper coil would be over here. But that's not my target line. Yeah. And so we know that we're trying to throw over here, and so instead all we can do is step back, and this doesn't have any level amount of coil. So we're just setting ourselves up in a really disadvantaged position.
Okay. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start standstill, get ourselves into the right coiling position. Feel that tension, hold disc, and then just go back to the neutral start. And go back to the coiled position, feel how that is, and then go back to start.
Okay.
So I want you to try to, like, we're just focusing on the coiling aspect of it, not the throw yet, because that's the aspect that's new.
Right.
You know how to throw from there. We have to get this portion to feel normal. Where I'm like, I feel like, for me, when I'm doing it, I feel like I'm like, most of my weight or pressure is on this back foot, which allows me to be able to spin around that leg instead of it being like equal. And I'm doing, it's not this, it's this. Very subtle difference, but big difference.
So,
yep.
Neutral.
And try to twist that thoracic spine as much as you can. You want to get this shoulder as far away from target as you can, and this one as close as you can, without super extending your back here. So you want this to be more rounded. So if you're looking at me.
Oh, your back, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try it. So we don't want this. We want to try to keep this more neutral position or more hunched over the disc.
Okay.
Because if we don't, and we get that big arch, now our chest, abdomen starts getting in the way. We need that rounding so there's the space to come through.
Yeah, I gotta focus on that rounding part.
Yeah, that is also my weakness, and why I've been going to PT for months, is to make my glutes and my abs stronger so that that position is more normal. Because I just default to the low back taking over sort of issue, and it's like hard for me to get into that rounded position for more space.
Yeah, I feel like I can do it. It's definitely just practicing, like actually getting there.
Let me look at you from this angle as well. Because one thing that can happen when people do this is they do it and their head goes way outside of their feet. We want to try to keep like our head over our belt buckle as we do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that's, like you're within range, you're like over your knee right now. There you go, that's getting better.
Okay.
You just don't want to be like, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. All right, so describe to me, what does this feel like and how is it different from what you've been doing?
So a lot of tension in the leg, a lot more, and then a lot more like kind of on top of my back, and then like in the side of my hip as well.
Great.
I can just feel it in a lot more places.
All right, so now, once you get to that very coiled position, you're now just sending the arm and letting tension release.
Just sending the arm and letting tension release?
Yeah, so it's like you're here, you're all coiled and you're wound up, and you're sending, like send the arm and get to the brace. That's the only thing. You don't have to think about twisting, just think about towards target.
Okay. Actually throw it?
Yep.
Okay. Here.
Coil, feel it, send it.
Around that.
Yep, get to the coil, pause, send it.
I probably dropped my elbow there.
You did. I was actually gonna grab this real quick.
Yeah.
Just to remind you as you're learning.
Okay, there.
Coil,
Coil.
feel it, send it. Much better.
Yep.
Go.
Oops. Am I dropping my elbow? I feel like
a little bit. It's probably because this is just really new.
Yeah.
And so because you're focused on something totally new, you're kind of just defaulting. I mean, it's only been like what, like a month or so?
Yeah, something like that.
No, listen, it takes longer to build lasting muscle memory. And so obviously keep working on the things that have been helping you with keeping your elbow up, and then now we're gonna bring in this other element. And like, you can semi-focus on both, especially if there's a piece of plywood.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna elbow it. So it's just bringing this kind of new positioning into what you've already been doing.
A little hunched over.
A little bit wider in your base if you can.
Wider that way or this way?
Yeah, wider like that way. And because I think a lot of it right now is you're staying on the back leg. I want you, as you're sending, to get on to the front leg.
Okay.
Shift the weight forward and explode, basically.
Got it.
There you go. Because you can imagine, it's like if you were coiled and then this is what's keeping you rooted, once there's no pressure here, it's like letting go of the bottom of the spring in a good way. We don't want to do that in the setup. We want to be getting that tension. And so if you can think about it, it's like, okay, I'm loaded up and then I'm over here. That's what undoes the spring.
Okay.
Then that's the way to think about it.
Got it. A bit wider.
Shift forward and explode. Cool. So
The glow tempo.
now, we now know how to coil. We now need to learn how to coil
There's no tempo.
in the run-up.
Right.
So we're gonna do the same thing as like we're doing, like, okay, we're getting to the coil. We're just doing it with our walk-up. So the key of this is picking your target out there. And this is what I do for like when I actually throw, is I'm basically trying to keep my eyes on target until I can feel like the whole X step is done. And that's when I allow myself to coil fully. This also helps if you're like someone that has a really hard time of uncoiling before you're fully planted. If you are not coiling at all until the very last part of the throw, it's way easier to hold the amount of coil you get to, because you're not here fully coiled and then needing to wait, because you're here not coiled at all. Now you have to coil relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So that's what we're basically doing, is we're going to be is I want you to, like, you're going through your steps, locked, get to the coiled position, and then feel it, then reset, and do it again. And then eventually we'll get to the point where you're going through, we're locked, coiled, feel it, then you can throw.
Okay.
But we're not quite there yet. Don't hit that truck. Thank you, tree.
In the tree. We're locked onto it. Yeah, because I feel like I start rotating way too soon.
And so another drill you can do for practicing the X step, because a lot of people kind of start doing this, is I call it the infinite X step drill. It's just right here. This is how the X step should be. You should be able to move linearly with your X step.
Okay. That's a good drill, yeah.
And another one of my students, Chris, he really liked this because it was hard for him to kind of like, because a lot of times you get into the rhythm of step, 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 and that's not really the rhythm that we want, because that really long, if it's like thinking music, if we're thinking quarter notes is not where we want the X step. We want like quarter, eighth into it.
Oh, okay.
So you can think it's like bum, 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 bum.
Okay.
And so that, like, the shortness of the stride helps keep us from turning all the way. Because I don't know about you, but my hip mobility does not allow me to get all the way over here without my hips turning back.
Yeah, no.
Some people are freaks and can do that. I'm not one of them. So my X step has to be here. This is about where I'm at normally. If I get a little bit more turned around, maybe for max distance, but you can do cheating stuff there. But like, this right here, I try to keep it really small, especially when I'm doing like approach shots. I'm like right here, boom. I'm like just barely getting past.
Okay.
And so the rhythm is bum, 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 bum.
Okay. Focus here, and then bum,
bum, bum, bum.
And then, okay.
Yep.
There. Okay, cool.
Just learning the coil at the right time. That's all we've got to do here. Ah, you started turning around earlier.
Earlier? Okay.
Wait, you got to wait until we are coming through. There you go. That's the moment.
Really, okay.
If you need to do it from just the X step setup, go there. So get yourself turned sideways.
Yeah.
Yep. Do the X step. So the cross behind. Yep. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, it's so late. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's inherently incredibly different.
Yeah. I wanted to quit.
Yeah, I can tell. You stepped here and we're like, oh no.
Yeah, I felt that so hard. Yeah, that one felt better.
You think you can do a throw?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. And we'll see if it breaks down.
Probably will. Here we go.
I expect it, but it's part of the learning process. That wasn't bad. On this one, go through the motions, pause at the coil, then restart, and then do the whole throw.
Okay.
That was much better.
Yeah, that felt better.
Yeah. That's what you go through one dry and then do a real one.
Okay.
When you did the two back to back, it went from okay to sloppier. And so we got to keep the focus on extreme rigidity on the aspect of the form that you're working on.
Okay.
Yeah. How's it feeling?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, it definitely feels like I'm getting good, like a decent power for like the extent of the run up. And it's not, we'll say it's easier to actually put it into the disc.
What do you mean by that?
So it's not, I feel like with how much tension it is, getting it up to velocity is easier.
Great.
Because it's just releasing instead of having to like, whoop.
Cool. That was a bit of a yank over.
That was, very much so, yeah.
But I think you're also just used to that from when you're dipping.
Yeah.
You kind of have to. So like as you get better, oh my gosh.
You have the entire field, what are we doing?
I appreciate you yelling it, a lot of people don't.
Yeah. So is that correct level of hunch? Because I did a little additional.
I like that.
Right here? Okay.
Just think about essentially twisting your max extent when it comes to the thoracic region.
Okay. More.
Yeah, that was good. That was a lot of coil. I like that.
That felt good.
That was good on the coil. What is it feeling like now?
It feels like I got to move a lot faster.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm not getting into as aggressive as a spot as when I was doing it standstill. I think that's just because I'm not doing it fast enough.
And some of it is also you're not necessarily in balance. Like it's really easy when I'm in standstill to just turn myself to maximum capacity, because like I can do it in any amount of time, because all I have to do is get myself to the position, be like, wow, my glutes are firing hard, like everything else is firing hard, then I can go. When you're in the run-up, you only have that time until the foot hits and your momentum shifts you forward. So it's normal, and it's gonna come in practice. And that's why we're doing okay, I'm just gonna do the portion of this. And you can even, I've done that a lot at my house, or when I was in my office during my PhDs, I just like get to this position and practice getting the full coil in through the stride. And
that's something I do have room in my apartment for that, which is nice.
We'll do that then.
Early.
All right, no setup. You just throw in one quality rep. A little bit of elbow drop, but the coiling was good. Cool. So, final kind of like how to segment down these drills. So, if the portion that's hard is the final kind of stride of like, okay, how fast do I need to coil to be fully coiled by the time I'm planted? You're just right here. You're like, cool, that's all I gotta do. Is like, if I'm here and I'm planted before I'm fully coiled, I'm not coiling fast enough. If I'm way fully coiled and it feels like forever, then I'm coiling a bit too fast.
Yeah.
So just so you can find the timing for you that is the most efficient of like, I'm fully coiled and I'm not having to hold it for super long, so I'm effectively losing the coil as I come in.
Okay.
Next step is like, okay, it's like, yeah, if I've got to work just on the X step portion, I just work on that for keeping my eyes locked to target. And then you can build into the, okay, I'm here, bam, into the final portion, and then bring it into, okay, now I'm doing my full walk up. I'm here, I'm like, lock, cool. And then the final thing is bringing it into the throw. And so whatever you've got to do to be like, okay, I feel confident in my coiling at each stage of where I do coil and do not coil, then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna like be scrutinous with like, as I watch my form, to be thinking about the coil and thinking about elbow. Ideally, we're not gonna how to think about either of them as you're doing reps still for your elbow dip stuff. It's like we don't want to stop that now, because we've seen a number of times when you're super focused on coil,
it drops.
Your elbow drops. And so it's like you've got to, it's hard to do two things, especially as men. And so do reps where you're focused on coil, and do reps where you're focused on elbow. And as you're like training, those come in. And then eventually you can get to the point where it's like, okay, I don't really need to think about those. I still have to think about my target, like, or I turn early. And so even for me now, like that's generally my only like swing thought, other than like, okay, what angle am I putting on, is like, okay, I'm just locked on my target the whole time until I obviously need to coil. But that's what helps me have good coil and also hit my line, because if I'm like turning too soon, it's really easy to have my stride be off, early, left, sort of stuff. So so let's do a few more of the drill. We'll do like the drill segment, just to practice, or like just this final, step in to final, and then your final, your whole walk up through. And then we'll do some final throws. So give it like maybe 4 of each step. So like just the stride portion, X step portion, forward and up portion. Throwing with none of them. There.
A little early.
Yeah, it's good. You can feel it though.
Yeah.
So what are, I guess, your takeaways? What are the feelings that are important? What are the, if there's a light bulb moment, what was it?
I think it was doing like this exercise, like just doing the X step, and focused on when it crosses. Cross, then go.
Great.
And then a lot of that. And just the practicing walking in the line without rotating out too early. And then combining that with the, okay, now go.
Cool.
Like
and with the coiling, what was the feeling or the aspect of it that was like, okay, this is helping me understand what I need to do?
I think that stick metaphor was good, because like I definitely was before rotating around like center, but thinking about rotating around that back leg. And then doing that, you can really feel it just up the side of my leg, lower back, this hip, that hip. Just feels more engaged.
Cool. Well, then those are things to focus on in your practice to really reinforce that learning. That it's not, okay, I'm just doing the drill, but it's I'm doing the drill to feel the feel that is most helpful. And so if like that's like, if you're like, okay, well, as I'm coiling, the thing I'm thinking about is rotating around this leg, and not just so much of like, oh, I'm just coiling. It's like I'm doing the thing to really reinforce that learning. And so if you're having the thing that you're like, oh, it's not just the action, but it's like the feeling of that action is going to help kind of that become the new thing. Because like you've got a form that's like you don't have to think about, but it probably started out as this is something I'm thinking about. And so we need those things that are like not just of like it's a technical aspect of like, oh, I've got to turn hips to 135 degrees, but of like to where it's like you can feel the feeling of that tension probably way easier than feeling the like angles or something that you're coiling to. And so that's why I'm asking those questions, so that you can take those in your own practice, learn from them.
Cool.
Well, good stuff.
Great.
Oh, someone else is setting up a training facility, so it's a good thing we're
Yeah.
wrapping up. But good stuff, my guy.
Yeah.
Let's go. I got time maybe for like 1 or 2 holes. So let's go have some fun.
Let's do it. Go grab my stuff. People steal it.